Maybe he was sad that the week came to an end. Sounds like he liked you.
I don't think he disliked me.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he was sick of me at the end of the week going, okay.
And maybe mom and dad were happy to kind of...
Yeah, seriously. Randall, the babysitter. Here you go, Randall. You're young. Go watch our kid. Oh, yeah, that's right. I was a stalker at an early age. I'm still a stalker now. Now I just stalk you guys with football news and information. But it's Wednesday before the Super Bowl. Paulie Burmeister, Chris Sims, what's up, everybody? Hope you're well. What's up, big guy? How you doing? I'm doing good.
Doing well. It's a different kind of week, isn't it?
It
to
is.
Not be down there, not interacting with people. Teams aren't down. Well, Tampa Bay's there, but Kansas City's not there yet.
Right. Yeah. It is. It's weird. Yeah. Part of the Super Bowl is that build-up, the fanfare, being around the energy of the city, or at least just seeing it on TV. Definitely missing that this year.
Yeah.
I mean, no doubt about it. Let alone, even the weekend, usually I'm at the Super Bowl all week. I come home either on Saturday morning or Friday night before the game, unless NBC has the Super Bowl. And I usually know, okay, Sunday, Super Bowl, or my family might come over, maybe a friend or whatever. I don't even know what I'm going to be watching just with my boy, my girl, my wife, and that's it.
That's it.
Maybe my mom comes by.
I had both of my sons ask if they could have friends over and their families. I'm like, I don't think this is the year that's going to happen. You're stuck with mom and dad watching. I also remember thinking about the week. I think it was a 2015 season because we were in San Francisco.
Right.
And Mike and I were doing shows from out there.
Sure.
And I saw you after one of the shows. I remember walking away thinking, man, it would be fun to talk football with Chris on a regular basis. I don't know if it'll ever work out, but somehow, some way.
Here we are.
I think it was that Super Bowl.
It was that Super Bowl out in San Francisco, Carolina, Denver. I was out there at Bleacher Report for the time, doing all that stuff and being crazy and all that. And that was a cool week, though. It really was.
It was fun.
It ended with me getting violently sick on the plane ride home from the Super Bowl the next day.
What's the deal? Because weren't you violently sick at the combine?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's that airplanes are the most disgusting, dirty places on earth, and maybe that got me sick.
Could be.
Or maybe being a media row with 10,000 people from all over the country in the hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe you're better off right here.
I probably am. I really am. There's no doubt. In fact, I'm not going to lie, the mask wearing thing has got into my mind in future life where I'm like,
you're going to do it for a long time?
Will I wear a mask on a plane the first time I go?
Will you?
Not necessarily because I'm not scared of COVID.
Yeah.
I respect it. I'm going to do everything right. But maybe just to not get sick, I'm a germaphobe, and I don't have a spleen, so I'm no joke. I have thought about that.
When was the last time you were on a plane?
It's been, holy crapola, Batman, since I threw up at the Combine. I think that was it.
Since then.
It has. I know.
I've been on a plane a bunch because of Notre Dame football.
Right.
And everybody, from the time you walk into the airport, it's great to see everybody's got a mask on.
Good.
I kind of figured it'd be sporadic, but it feels very safe.
Right.
So I think you may be onto something. I think it may, that sort of thing might be seen for a long time.
Well, one thing I'm glad about that I've really noticed, and this is some hard-hitting stuff, but we're going to get into the Super Bowl breakdown here in a minute. I broke down that Week 12 matchup, a lot of interesting things to talk about and all of that. But I'll say here's my biggest positive.
Yeah.
Because I did go to a restaurant the other night with my wife on Friday night.
Okay.
And I'm observing people.
Sat inside,
spread out. You don't have a table within 8 or 10 feet of you. Restaurant's really only half full. But I go there. It was enjoyable, one, to be whoa, civilization and dinner. This is cool. Right? I mean, it makes you understand the roaring 20s. That's what I've been laughing about. Now I know why they roared, because they were stuck in a pandemic for 2 years, and they're like, fuck this. We're going to dinner. I'm getting in my tuxedo, and I don't care if it's just burgers and fries. But men, of course, are the grossest things on the planet, all right? And the one thing I've noticed, just at dinner, a lot less face touching ever since this has gone down. Man, that used to be my pet peeve. I'd get on the train going to New York City. Yeah. I'd see a guy who's rubbing his nose, then using it to slick back his hair, and then going to grab the railing on the way in and just oh, great. I'll grab that railing if we fall down or something. Great. So I'm glad to see that crap go.
How was dinner?
Good. Phenomenal. Yeah. Big dinner. Yeah.
So football.
You want to go there?
Football's coming.
Let's do it.
Yeah, football's coming up. And it's basically, it's a what the fuck will happen Wednesday.
It's a what the fuck will happen. We got a little Ask Me Anything involved here. We got it all. And it was a good rewatch watching that Week 12 matchup. And I think there's definitely some interesting angles about the game to break down.
Yeah, because it was late enough in the season
Yes.
Where as I go to touch my face every time. Now I have a huge complex about this. Let's start though with before we get to the specific breakdown of it.
Yeah.
Zooming out a little bit, 5 of the last 7 Super Bowl rematches.
Yeah.
Thinking about rematches in the big game, were won by the regular season loser.
I can understand that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I can. I don't know if there's any correlation here to where I'm going to put stock into it or anything like that. I would always think, just in my experience of playing, and more times than not, that when you've played a team once and you've lost and now you play them again later in the year, the advantage is on the team that lost. I always have felt the psychological aspect, because you do have the fear. You do have the, oh, wait, we have to change some things about how we play the game.
Yeah.
And the team that won a lot of times can fall into the trap of, hey, we beat them already, and hey, what we did the first time worked pretty good, so we can do that again. And I don't think that's going to happen this time around, but I think that's the psychological advantage in that. Now, it's 5 out of the last 7, but I've seen this graphic before too. I know, like, the first few times it happened, the team that won the first time won the second time too. I mean, there was part of that. I know my dad's Giants teams have been on both sides of the spectrum. Lost to the Bills in the regular season, beat them in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 21, they played the Denver Broncos and barely beat them in the regular season, 19-16, and then blew them out in the Super Bowl 39-20. And I know this graphic doesn't go all the way back there, but either way, do you? Are you
No.
I don't think there's anything there go apples to apples.
I mean, as the guy who usually plays host, on this, it's kind of a co-hosty thing, but usually I find these things as interesting conversation. We should bring this up because it's fun.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't have anything to do with what's going to happen at the game.
I don't think so either. I don't. And, I think, too, and the other thing, both teams, I think, are a notch better from where they were, in that week 12.
I think Tampa Bay is for sure.
For sure.
Kansas City was A to A+ anyway.
Right.
I don't know if they're any better.
I would say they are. On the defensive side of the ball, I would say they've been stronger down the stretch since then. They've gotten a little healthier. Guys like L'Jarius Sneed, who were just getting back into the lineup at that time, now are playing like, whoa, he can get on an island and lock people down.
Number 38, right?
And that's number 38, exactly. Really impressive rookie. The other thing I'll too just say, you're right. It's obvious Tampa's playing better. There's no doubt about that. But I'll say I think Kansas City's offense is more complete and better now and really knows what it wants to do as compared to then. And I know those lofty expectations because that was a really damn good game. I get it.
Yeah.
But I think there's some things in that game where I go, I know it was good. You won by 3. That's great. But we'll hit on it. There's some things where I go, I think the way they played took the pressure off of Tampa Bay in a few spots too, where I would go, I don't think that'll happen this time.
Okay, so that's a good place to really dive in.
Yeah.
Chiefs offense, Bucs defense. Let's go ahead and roll this. It was an unbelievable performance right away. That first quarter was tremendous. Patrick Mahomes, season highs in completions with 37 attempts and yards at 462. And Tyreek Hill was just unbelievable with what he did in that game. He was over 200 in the first quarter. I think. So to me, that's where you begin. And I can't get past it for trying to predict a Tampa Bay win. What do they do with Tyreek Hill in that first quarter that they didn't do, that they failed to do in that first game?
Yeah, well, not a lot changed. I mean, throughout the game, it did not. Now, I think the big thing that I would talk to you about, or at least in that first quarter where he just got off, is he got in some opportunities that were, whether it was zone or man, and ended up playing like man-to-man, and nobody's helping him out, helping the corner out.
Right.
So that would be the first thing you just go, well, you can't continue to play that way, Tampa Bay. Now, I understand you can't always double them and always have 2 safeties there.
But one of those, just to paint an even clearer picture, one of those deep touchdowns he had was the classic 3 deep with the free safety in the middle and the corner with 11 yards of cushion.
Yeah.
He runs by the corner, and the free safety is nowhere to be seen.
No doubt.
So, I mean, it's a good idea. They just didn't execute that.
No, they did not
defense.
execute that on that kind of play there. Like Carlton Davis, he got beat on the little out and up, right, for the touchdown by Tyreek Hill, right? That was the long 75-yarder. I think that made it at that time maybe 10-0 in the football game. But I mean, a little combination, like you said, it's a zone coverage. And I think on that play, they're asking Carlton Davis to play him man while everybody else is playing zone, which is fine. But Carlton Davis, and I saw some quotes from him yesterday or the day before where he basically said, wait, that was a good learning experience, and I'm definitely going to have to kind of adjust with what I do. Yes, when Tyreek makes the break for the 10-yard out, just let him catch the 10-yard out, or know for sure that he's committed to the 10-yard out, and don't bite on a double move or something like that to where you stutter and now you can't catch up. So, yes, there was that where Carlton Davis has to adjust his game plan, but then overall, too, like Tampa has to adjust their game plan a little bit as well. You know, the other 2 touchdown passes he had in the football game, you know, he had 3 receiving TDs. There's that one. The other 2, I could tell you know what they came against? Oh, the 5-man rush.
Yes.
Oh, the old blitz, the blitz that didn't get anywhere near the quarterback, but I just had a blitz because I like the word blitz. I don't know why. That's to me going to be like, if we just have to hit the first key of the game.
Yep.
And I know this is obvious, right? But Tampa, you can't blitz. You can't
At
do
all?
it. Yeah. If you do, it has to be really calculated and in a moment or a personnel set or a formation where you go, I feel comfortable. But I don't think there's going to be a ton of those opportunities. Listen, I don't know, Pete, we got the numbers for the blitz, right? And the first time, they didn't blitz a lot the first time.
So we have Tampa Bay blitz 18.5%. All the other weeks, they blitz 43%.
Way down for them.
Yeah.
They're one of the biggest blitzing teams in football.
Most in the NFC.
Okay, so that shows you. And I think it's like only second to Baltimore, maybe in all of football, right? So, all right, they knew they couldn't blitz him in this game, too. Obviously, that's why they blitzed less in this game than normal. But I don't think you can even, like, they blitzed, what was it, 10 times total?
Mahomes was 6 out of 9, so 9 times. 6 out of 9, 106, 2 touchdowns.
Right.
They did it only once in the second half.
To me, they got gashed in blitzes in the RPO game. Oh, we're going to blitz people off the edge. Okay, he takes it. Now there's a hole. You blitz there. There's Tyreek Hill. Boom. You know, the 2 touchdowns I'm going to talk about. You know, the first one, all right, we just talked about the first 75-yarder.
Yeah.
Now we have the second one where he's the inside of 3 receivers to the left side. He basically just runs like a deep cross or a deep post to the opposite pylon. Bucs bring 5. We can bring 2. They got a 3-man front. They bring 2 linebackers. They ask one of the safeties to come down and cover the backfield, cover one of the running backs out of the backfield man-to-man. Now, there's nobody there to cross on the cross-field help for Tyreek Hill. It's just things like that where I just go, what's the point?
Yeah.
It's just not worth it against this team.
So better off bringing 4?
Bringing 4.
Or bringing 6?
I would rather one or the other, but I would tell you no, 4.
Bring 4.
This is the game. Yeah. This is why you got Sue. This is why you got JPP and Shaq Barrett. This is it. They got to win this week against this O-line who's banged up and all of that. You know, the extra blitzer, I don't think it's going to do anything other than just make passing lanes bigger.
Right.
It's not going to he'll just fade away another extra step or 2. Right? Or you blitz and they run some sprint out play. And now, they blitzed and now it's blocked up and he's sprinting out and you got Tyreek Hill on the edge with nobody there or they double move off of it. To me, it's just too risky.
So
I'm talking like handful of times the whole game.
Pick and choose your spots to bring 6 or maybe 7, but live with bringing 4.
Live
correct?
with 4 because that play's the perfect example. You blitz 2 linebackers, just let one go. So now you have the 3 down lineman, the linebacker. Now you let the other back cover the back out of the backfield. The linebackers got the back out of the backfield. And now Antoine Winfield can play the back end and go, okay, who's coming? Oh, here comes Tyreek Hill. All right, let me help my corner out here.
Because he wasn't much help from his free safety.
He wasn't help at all because he was being the free safety was cheating over to the 3 receivers. Winfield was playing to the right, and at the snap, he came down because he had to aggressively try to cover the back out of the backfield in case he went. And that's to me where I go, the teams that gave Kansas City problems, the Raiders, the Patriots, they didn't do stuff like that. They did not. They erred on, we are going to stop the pass.
Yeah.
We've seen, there's enough evidence, he's going to gash you in the blitz. Don't do it. So there's the first just big thought.
I'm glad you established rushing 4 is the best way to go. With that thought, we get to Stephen Limitone, his question from Twitter. Do you think the 49ers last year or the Bucs this year have a better D-line? Even with the injuries this year, are the Chiefs in that much trouble?
Right. I don't think they're in that much trouble. No, because, and we'll hit on that here too. One, because of how Andy Reid game plans and Mahomes' ability to move and avoid, pressure, like we've talked about so many times, like seamlessly, where you're just like, you almost don't even realize it's pressure until you watch the game back and you go, oh, crap, I forgot he made 3 people miss before he threw that 40-yard throw down the middle of the field. It's just so effortlessly. I think the 49ers defensive line and defense in general is better than this Bucs defense altogether.
Yeah.
Across the board for the most part. Okay, and then the other thing I would say to that too is, yes, I think the 49ers defensive line was a better pass rushing defensive line. The only advantage I would say the Bucs D-line has is in run defense, and this ain't the game that it matters, run defense. I'm sorry.
Right.
And it shouldn't matter. And Kansas City should not even waste their time or breath trying to run the ball a whole lot.
So at Mehmet305, his question, do you think it's essential for Kansas City to get their running game going early to protect the O-line? I guess you're answering that right now.
My answer is no. It's a great thought. Who asked that? What was his name there?
Mehmet_305.
Mehmet_305.
He's basically a friend of the program.
Mehmet and my man down in 305 down there in Miami. No, it's a good thought, and he's right. Things have to be done to protect the offensive line, but come on, Kansas City. We didn't get to the Super Bowl because of the run game. We're not going back-to-back because of the run game. We can't fucking waste our time with that in this game. No. You're letting them off the hook if you're going to play the run game and to the strength of their football team. I mean, it's probably the number one thing on their team is we can stop the run.
Yeah.
We're the best run-stopping defense in football. So don't waste your time. My thing would be, to answer Mehmet's question, 305 there, would be, no, let's help the pass rush other ways. And I've talked about this on the podcast. That's where Andy Reid, the sprint outs are going to become key. Little play actions, even the shotgun, because that's just going to make the defensive line just slow down a little bit. Oh, wait, did he hand it to Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Oh, no, he didn't. Okay, let me get him. That, and then the shifts and motions, the speed sweeps, all that stuff. He's going to have to use that to slow down the pass rush. But don't use the run game. That's playing into the Bucs' hands. The Bucs want you to run. They know they got the advantage against that offensive line in that category.
Right.
So I would say more of, I want to see Kansas City compared to the first matchup, where this is where I would say they're better because they were just played the Raiders the second time the week before, where I think they had just getting into, we have this, we got the short passing game now, and we got the zone plays, and now the deep plays to go along with it, which we always had. I think they were just finding their way with this at that moment. And in this game, they kind of tried to play the 2 tight end, 3 tight end. We might run it and balance. And I think it took the pressure off the Bucs defense. I think they were probably like, sure, great, that's fine. That's great. Now, we don't have to worry about matching up across the board.
Yeah.
I would rather see combat the pass rush, spread the field, quick passes, and move the ball like that, to where the pass rush never gets to get off on the guy holding the ball for a long, long time. Sorry for the long answer there.
No, that's good. We talked about the defensive line. Let's back it up now to the DBs, which I think are going to be a huge part of this game. I think they're playing a lot better.
They are.
All those young 2nd to 4th round picks they have in the secondary than they were 2 months ago. Official Kian, his question is, do you think Tampa has the secondary coverage to cope with Mahomes?
I don't. I mean, listen, and this is not disrespect, and you're right. I think they've gotten better. Listen, Tampa's defense is the key to the game. We know that. I mean, it really is. And there's so many things to break down. Yeah, we hit the pass rush and how important that is. In the secondary, they're better at man-to-man than they are zone. The problem is...
Are they playing man-to-man this game?
Well, that's the problem. It's just like, how much do you want to play against this crew?
Yeah.
And that's where I would tell them, fuck the 5-man box.
Right.
Fuck the extra guy in the box. Err on the pass. Listen, we don't know if Kansas City, can run. But the one thing I know they can do is pass if you're going to give them those looks, okay? So dare them. 2 deep safety, man underneath. If they want to run it, go ahead, run. Oh, can you think you can make plays with our 2 safeties and now the corners can play aggressive underneath?
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't like their chances man-to-man, single safety on an island like the touchdowns we talked about with Tyreek Hill.
Right.
I don't like that. No. They need to find ways to help them out. And I think here's the other aspect of it too. And this is why, again, I just go, we can't rush 5, you can't rush 6. We got to let that front 4. You paid a lot of money to them, got a lot of draft picks there. They got to win. This is their day. This is their day to take over and be that group of the team. But The other thing, too, which concerns me a little for the Tampa defensive side, is I don't think they're a good zone defense. That's my biggest problem.
They weren't, and that's one of my questions I want to make sure we get to.
Right.
They weren't with that 3 deep with a safety in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
At least in that game a couple months ago.
Right.
What if they play the 2 deep with 2 safeties and then rolled corners?
Yes, I mean, that's certainly, and if they play man underneath, I think that's, going to be their best opportunities. Or, hey, this one safety's down here kind of looking for, like, helping out our other guys who were playing man, and now we have another safety over the top of the single receiver on Tyreek Hill, and now we're truly doubling him. They got to find ways to do all of that type of stuff. To see if you can confuse, Mahomes. 2, maybe it gets him to pat the ball in extra time, and now your pass rush gets to get there and sack him. To me, that will be a key to the game, but they're going to have to find the right formula of how to mix it up and how to play it. My issue with Tampa and like their zone defense is to what you're saying, even last week in the NFC Championship game, I mean, Rodgers picked their zones apart a lot of the times. I mean, he didn't have issues, finding little holes and things like that.
But I do think that they gave him not a bad game, but if you picked out the so how many games did they play this year? 18 games.
Yeah.
If you picked out their 18 games, it would be in the bottom middle or maybe bottom half of the games he played.
Right.
By his standards.
Yeah, sure, okay.
So they did hold him to less than his best.
Yes, I agree. Not trying to, still a really good performance, you're right. And stopped them in, the red zone twice and made him kick field goals. Those are all positives. My thing, though, is this group is a lot more talented. And that's where it's a little different. It's a different talent group. Now, hey, I like Lazard and Valdez-Scantling. But some of those catches they made in that game, Hill and McCole Hardman catch some of those 8-yard hook routes. Watch out. It could be a 40-yard gain up the sideline all of a sudden. Yeah. That's where it's just a little bit of a different animal. And here's my issue with the Bucs and their zone coverages, which is, as I've watched even a few other games to look at to see if this makes sense, they don't disrupt receivers off the line of scrimmage. And that's, to me, their biggest issue. So they play zone coverages. If Tyreek Hill's in the slot, he just gets off the ball clean. The safety who might be dropping into zone, by the time he's like, I looked at the quarterback and looked back, he's like, whoa, Tyreek Hill's on me. My understanding of zone coverages through the Bucs and Tampa 2 and Seattle scheme and all of that, if you're going to be a good zone team, you can't let just people fly off the ball and then expose areas that your team can't get to these zones. You got to be a little disruption and move guys out of the way, mess up the rhythm of the quarterback, and not enough of that goes on by them.
So what do you do with Tyreek Hill? And I know Kelsey is his own version of a nightmare, but we showed the numbers of Tyreek Hill, over 200 yards in the first quarter last time they played. And to get further into that, he was on the left sideline running like a 20-yard conversion. He was on the right sideline running right down for a deep ball. He was the inside player in a slot, like you talked about, running short, running deep. So, I mean, not only does he have the speed, acceleration, the production, you don't know where he's going to line up on any given play.
No.
You need to be worried about that, though. So what do you do with the way they use him pre-snap?
Yeah, I think, you're always going to have to be aware of him. They can make it hard on to double him at times. Like I want to get into that aspect too about why I think Kansas City shouldn't be, in run formations or 2 or 3 tight end sets too, because what Kansas City will do sometimes too, they'll like the last touchdown pass he hit to Tyreek Hill, they'll put Kelsey and Hill on the same side. It's empty formation. It's 5 eligible wide receivers. He's in the shotgun. It's 2 receivers to the left and the running back, and on the right it's Kelsey and Hill. It's hard to double. What are you going to put 4 guys over there against 2?
Right.
And then what are you going to have on the other side? There's going to be issues. So they do things that are very scary that way. And there's going to be a few formations where I don't care who you are, what you do, you're going to be in a vulnerable position a little bit. But what they can do in those situations, like we've talked about already, combination coverages, trying to help with safety over the top, an occasional double if it's the right formation. You go, okay, I think we can pull it off. And then, yes, you're going to have to play some one-on-one every now and then. But when you do that, Paul, there's got to be a presence of, I'm not sure it's totally one-on-one. The safety's in single safety, but he's kind of like over there by Tyreek Hill. Is he doubling them?
Did they do some of that later in the game? Because he was only 6 catches for 66 yards after that first quarter.
Right. No, what they did as the game went on, and this is where really I found it to be more of a Kansas City issue. Kansas City got to this point in the 27-10 football game, and one, took their foot off the gas pedal just a little bit, but two, the Bucs got real vanilla because they were like, wait, we're getting gashed. Yeah. Let's just get vanilla and play cover 3 and do things like that. And Kansas City played right into their hands and went, let's start throwing it deep again. And they started calling deep pass plays and let the four get off again. To me, that's where they messed up the football games in a lot of ways. The game should be easy for Kansas City. Zone coverage, pick it apart, throw it quick short. Man, take your shots. That, to me, is how it should boil down. And then on top of that, instead of some of those 2 and 3 tight end sets I talked about in that first time around, to me in this game, I would spread the field all game long. I would make them match up with McCole Hardman, Sammy Watkins, Kelsey, and not let them off the hook with pressure at any point. With Mahomes can throw it any way. We got our best players out here on the football field. We're not going to get into a ground and pound, phone booth fight with Sue and Vitavia. We're not made for that. To me, that's where it could be special. And like I said, when you get into some of those 4-receiver empty sets, I don't think Bucs are very good at zone defense. Like I said, those holes are going to be big in zone coverages that way. And then, as much as I like the Bucs and their young talent and things like that, I don't think they can match up across the board against this group.
Right. I mean, you say that about most teams in the league.
Right, exactly.
So, in summary with there, if I'm hearing this the right way, you want to see Tampa Bay rush 4, play different types of confusing, change-it-up zones.
Right.
And Kansas City
zones or mans.
Okay.
Yep.
Change it up. Yep. Maybe lean more on the zone than man.
Maybe, yes. I'm not opposed to it. It's going to be about down and distance, but my big thing would be more of just, you got to mix it up a little bit because you can't, if you just go zone, they're going to get into their zone packages and he's going to pick you apart just like he did to Cleveland or Buffalo at points in that football game. So you got to have to play man to man, but when you do man to man, no blitzing. You got to find a way to help a guy who might be in a vulnerable position with the extra guy there, and that would be my big thing. And try to play the game that way more than anything. But if they blitz and then they play play one thing too much, you're going to get gashed by them. If you go, we're going to blitz a lot and play man, they're going to gash you. If you're just going to rush 4 and play zone the whole time, they'll gash you in that too now. So you got to, like you're saying, rush 4, combination coverages, mix it up, and down and distance-wise, you're going to have to go, okay, it's 3rd and 4, maybe we have to play man now, but I'm not going to let Tyreek go for a 70-yard touchdown. We're going to help out a little bit there somehow.
And you'd like to see Kansas City's response, at least early, be more the short passing game than taking the shots.
I would think early on that would be, let's get your offensive line, get a feel for these freaks who are going to be foaming at the mouth because they've been told all week that if you can't get to Mahomes, we can't win the game. That would be my thing. Spread the field out, have your best players on the field. Mahomes has been a general at the line of scrimmage all year. He will get you in the right plays. To me, I think you force Tampa's hand that way more too. And honestly, I think for the Chiefs, then it could do also where you get into okay, now that the safeties are so far back, now we can run the ball. They're going to make it so obvious that way. Now we'll run the ball. But yes, I think that should be the approach for the most part for the Chiefs.
All right, that's Chiefs offense, Bucs defense. I think I have even more questions about the other side.
Yeah.
Bucs offense, Chiefs D, if you're ready to go there.
I'm ready to go.
Let's start out first quarter while Kansas City was piling up the big plays offensively. They were getting after Brady, and it was like watching a different team.
Right.
Same personnel, basically, but it was nothing but incompletions and punts in that first quarter. And then all of a sudden it's 17-0. The game's not over, but Kansas City's dictated the way it has to be played.
Definitely.
What happened in that first quarter where Tampa Bay's offense was just so inept?
Well, I think the biggest thing was just the pressure, the looks. I mean, really, the game come down. I mean, when we just had to boil it down to one thing, I would go, Kansas City played vanilla, Brady good. Kansas City played exotic and blitz, Brady bad.
First and second down too, right?
First and second down. They were doing it all early on in the game. They had Brady confused, flinching, not sure. He thinks he's going to throw hot to Cameron Brate over the middle. Nobody blitzed. They dropped out. He almost throws an interception. It's that stuff. Where Kansas City dropped the ball, in my opinion, is they got to that 17-0 lead, and all of a sudden they went, all right, let's play bend don't break and do all that stuff, and they let Tampa get into a rhythm and get going that way. That was really where I at least saw the biggest change as far as how the game went for. I mean, Kansas City's up 17-0 on the 8-yard line, and it's 1st and goal in the 8, and you're going. If you just watched the game and didn't know anything that went on after, you'd go, they're going to fucking blow them out. They're dominating the game, both sides of the ball. You're sitting there going, they're going to win 49-7.
Had that feel to it.
It did.
Yeah.
Of course, that was a big play in the game.
The fumble.
And then the fumble, and then just what I thought Kansas City kind of taking the conservative approach for a few series after that.
Pete, I think we have a graphic, Brady under pressure, week 12. There we go. So under pressure, 4 out of 10, struggled. Threw a couple of picks. I mean, it was, like I said, incompletions and punts for those first 3 or 4 possessions.
Right.
No pressure, though. He was really, really good.
And I think that's where, again, I think Tampa's realized that since then. They do a great job of protecting him.
Yeah.
They really do. We've talked about so much about keeping the extra linemen in, the tight ends in to block, do those type of things.
That's where they're different.
That's where they're different
compared to then. So,
definitely.
I would expect Kansas City and Spagnuolo to come out aggressive.
Right.
Because they had that success. But Tampa Bay's response might be different now because Leonard Fournette, in the 3 playoff wins, he has double-digit carries. He didn't have 3 games in a row like that all season.
Right.
You throw in the passing game, he's averaging 20 touches a game. So that's the difference with what they're doing. How do you think that'll affect the early part of the game now that they can lean a little bit more on Fournette?
No, that to me, I think is one of the big questions of the football game. Is just, can Tampa have some success running the football? Last game, you're going to look at the stats and go, whoa, well, Ronald Jones had 9 for 66. And you're going, it was 1 run. Everything else didn't look that great.
When it mattered early, the run game was a non-factor.
No, and that's exactly right. That's the way to put it. When it mattered early, it was a non-factor. When they were playing pass and, we know they're going to catch up, they gashed them on a few runs. But that will be a key to the game to me. Because can they run the ball? Can they force Spags and company to start going, wait, I wanted to bring all these cool blitzes and find ways to get 4-man rushes but still expose them like it's a blitz and do all of that, where if they're having to worry about the smash mouth run game, that's going to change things. And then it's going to, of course, open up play action pass and get a little scary that way. That will be a big part of the football game. And I think something that like Tampa Bay's definitely got to lean on a little bit if they want to win this game.
How much of an equalizer can that be for Tampa Bay?
Well, I think the big thing is, like we showed on that graphic, and I think like we've talked about even last week a little bit, and the 5 losses with Brady this year, pressure has been the issue.
Yeah.
And just like we saw in the NFC Championship game, it was the bad plays were all pressure related.
His worst pick.
Right. Was somebody got free, I just got to throw it up. Right.
Yeah.
So, I think that's where it can really affect the football game. But I think the biggest thing, too, is it'll take away some of the exotic nature of what Spags wants to do. And that's one of their great advantages. I mean, Spags a great game planner that way. But as I sit here, and as much respect as I have for Fournette and these big fuckers on this Tampa Bay O-line, I can't sit here and tell you with confidence they're going to be able to move these big fuckers on Kansas City's D-line either. I can't. That's where this matchup is intriguing to me there. Where I can say, I think this has got an advantage in this matchup and that matchup. I'm not sure who has the advantage in that matchup. But I do think not that they have to rush for 100 yards, but if they can have a day where it's, hey, they ran the ball 18 or 20 times and they flirted with 100 yards rushing, then I would say, then we might have a shootout type of game and both teams are scoring points because now play action and Brady to Gronk and Evans and everything else is wide open. He's going to be gashing your ass.
It feels like to me they've really embraced that identity because in addition, and this is in the playoff wins, the last 3 games, in addition to what they've done with Fournette, in the 2 games Ronald Jones has played, he's also in double-digit carries. So like that part of the game is coming early.
Yes.
Whether Kansas City can stop it or not. I'd be really surprised if they didn't go to that right away on those first 2 or 3 possessions.
I would think there's definitely going to be some sort of attitude,
It's a good way of putting it.
And we're going to enforce our attitude on you. Where I would just get scared a little. Like you want to establish that, but don't go overboard with it to where you go, okay, now we're in 3rd and 10, both of our first 2 series, and they've scored a touchdown twice, and we tried to start the run game and do that. So they do have to find the right blend early. But I think that is a real aspect of the game and a good question, and I think the run game is certainly more important for the Bucs than it is the Chiefs.
Nice of you to bring up 3rd down and 10, because I have a note that I wanted to go there.
Yeah.
Thinking back to how Tampa Bay won at Lambeau last week, they were so good on 3rd down. It wasn't just 3rd and 2s. Like early, they were hitting those
3rd and 9s and 3rd and 8s. Yeah. Right.
So thinking about if they can do that again, because those situations will show up. At Josh Love 81 asks, what will Spags do to try and confuse Brady? And if I can walk you down an even more specific road, thinking about 3rd medium, 3rd and long.
Yeah, sure. Spags is, in the Kansas City Chiefs defense, for my opinion, has 2 of the top-notch things I could just say from scheming an offense that I love. One is they're one of the best disguising teams in football, like we've talked about. They're so crazy that way, and Spags has great. I mean, that's how he beat Brady and the Patriots in 2007. It's just all the disguises and things. You go back and watch that film, you just go, whoa, some of that stuff he did was crazy.
So some of that is applicable?
Definitely.
Applicable to now?
It is applicable. And not that it means offense to offense is the same, but I don't care who you are and how long you've played quarterback, just like we saw in the first matchup. Spags is creative enough to trick Tom Brady. He did it a few times in this game. He did it a few times the first time around where he rushed 4 and got people not blocked, and Tom Brady was the quarterback. 4 people, Brady had 6 people blocking and still got exposed. So that just shows you how good he is at disguising or showing you a false clue on one side, and you go, oh, the blitz is coming over there. It's got to be. There's no way it can be coming over here. And then all of a sudden you get ready to say set hut, and he found some creative way to blitz off the other side and still cover and do all of that. So that is where the Chiefs are great. And what are the Chiefs, Pete, if you could look it up, just league-wide on 3rd down? I would imagine they are great. But so the disguises, of course, are great. And then the other thing is that other part I just talked about. He is a magician at finding ways to rush 4 or 5 and get somebody free, like not blocked. Even though you have the amount of people to block, like numbers for numbers, I can go, we got 5 guys to block, we can block these 5 guys, but they'll find a creative way to get one free. And that's where they're special. And then also, he's not afraid to just lay it on the line and go, it's 3rd and 4.
Right.
Fuck you. I'm blitzing everybody. You want to try to throw a deep post route or go route? Go ahead. I don't know if you'll complete it, but I'm not going to let you throw a 6-yard completion over the middle. And he'll either all-out blitz or they kind of rush 5 and somebody drops out over the middle to stop a quick throw over the middle and do things like that. That's where Spags is really great on 3rd down. And, Pete, I would think that they're one of the better 3rd down defenses in football. Am I correct? 17th. Okay, not as good as I would have thought there. I would have thought a little bit better. But where the Chiefs also have really improved from compared to then to now is, one, they're healthier in the back end. And L'Jarius Sneed, who we talked about, to me has really changed the dynamic of their secondary because, man, now when they get in dime defense and you got him, Breeland, Charvarius Ward, who can all play man-to-man. But now you got these 3 other guys in Thornhill, Matthew, and Sorensen, and you just don't know where they're going to go or what they're going to do. And is it going to be some man coverage where they're doubling a guy, or are they going to disguise? And I thought it was man, and now everybody's playing zone. That's where L'Jarius Sneed and this Chiefs defense has gotten better from this Week 12 matchup. And that can certainly play in the Chiefs' advantage too.
Other side, it's always fun to compare in these kind of games. We spent time talking about how nearly impossible it is to take care of Hill and Kelsey with that combination.
Yeah.
So in the passing game for the Bucs, you've got Evans.
Yep.
Who is the second part of that?
Right.
I mean, I know Godwin's the obvious answer, but who is the second guy that you're kind of comboing with? You're like, man, we have got to stop those 2. Because on the other side, you know it's Kelsey and
Hill. Yeah. You know it's going to be Evans is always going to have a main focal point as far as they're going to call a lot of plays to him. If it is one-on-one, they favor on working him. Now, the other guys, to me, yes, it's Godwin is that second guy, but it's not by like the Kelsey Hill way. Right. I feel the way they play right now, Scotty Miller's not too far behind Goodwin as far in the pecking order as far as where they want to get the ball and do things like that.
Gronk got him last game.
Brate's
been good recently.
Gronk got him last game. They got in some of those traditional coverages where they played zone and got vanilla there, and they just ran play actions, and the linebackers sucked up, and they hit them behind. That's where I want to go with Kansas City. Like, none of that shit this time. None of that. You got to keep the pedal on the metal and be exotic and different looks every play, the whole game. You can't get into that. And what was the original question? Who do you stop? Where do you go there?
It's a real obvious setup for the other side with Hill and Kelsey.
Right.
So for Tampa Bay, you have Evans, and who's that next guy, the 1A or the 2 that you're most worried about if you're Spags?
It's still Godwin, I think, but it's not to the level of Kelsey and Hill. It definitely is not with the way they use. You got to be careful with that other group of guys. That's kind of the beauty, of Tampa is. Godwin's 2, but it's like, hey, Scotty Miller's 2A, Gronkowski's 2B, and then Antonio Brown's 2C. They'll all use them in that similar role.
And 2 tights?
And 2 tight ends with Cameron Brate, certainly. So I guess I'm saying Godwin.
Yeah.
I would guess I'm saying that. And I think they'll do some of that. They're a team that you get down in the red zone. I don't know who. I would bet you when they get in the red zone, they're going to think Evans and Gronk. And they're going to try to take their chances on Godwin
Brady
one-on-one.
will be probably under center.
I would think so.
The threat of the other run as well.
You would see some of that. But the one thing I was impressed with watching it back, and this kind of hit me as I was watching, how good Brashad Breeland covered Mike Evans. That was one thing that they felt, you could tell Kansas City felt comfortable with that matchup. And, you forget Brashad Breeland, he played in the NFC South with the Carolina Panthers and probably has a good feel for Mike Evans' game and what he does. Wait, no, I'm wrong. He played for the Washington football team, Breeland. I'm totally wrong with that thought.
Right.
So he didn't go. He almost signed with Carolina.
Okay.
But either way, he did very good in the matchup part of playing man-to-man football on Mike Evans.
We talked about Kansas City's offensive line being the weakness on that side.
Right.
Kansas City's defense, D-line, linebacker, DBs, any weaknesses that Tampa Bay can try and expose?
The thing that I think, honestly, I don't look at it in one glaring weakness. When I would really look at Kansas City, and even in this matchup a lot of the times, I looked a lot of the good that the Bucs did on offense, and I looked at it more like the Chiefs messed it up, or the Chiefs did stuff that they don't normally do, and I don't know why they played this way. That's where the game is really intriguing to me. The game was close, 27-24. But as we talked about, it was this close from being an absolute annihilation.
Yeah.
And I could see the Bucs winning a close game. I could see the Chiefs winning a close game. I could see the Chiefs blowing the Bucs out. I can't see the Bucs blowing the Chiefs out. I just think that's the one way. That's the one angle I don't see happening in the football game.
These two teams played 10 times. How many times does Kansas City win?
Well, I don't know if you saw my notes there at the end, and I'm going to get them because I'll just read them. But one of the last things I wrote, I feel like after watching backs, I feel the same feeling I had after watching Bucs Packers. Whereas I came away from watching Bucs-Packers regular season matchup, and Pete will say this, and I wrote it on my original notes even back then during the matchup, that I felt like the Bucs would win that game 9 out of 10 times. And I felt like I have a similar feeling in this one. Not to say it's necessarily 9 out of 10, which I did write 9 out of 10, but I think it's up there.
Yeah.
I do. I think the Bucs certainly have to play more of a perfect game than Kansas City does to win this football game.
Right.
Yeah.
This is where I would like to be able to push back and say, I think they'd win half the times, but maybe 7. But I mean, to me, it all begins with how do you even begin to stop the Hill, Kelsey, Mahomes, what they're going to do pre-snap, what they're going to do during the play. And
yes.
I can't come up with too many formulas or too many scenarios where I see Tampa Bay's defense getting the best of that. Even though I think offensively they're much better than what they were when they were struggling when the game mattered most last time. It's the other side of it that it's hard to picture Tampa Bay doing that well.
I tend to agree with that side, especially with, it sounds like Sammy Watkins is going to play. And McCole Hardman, of course. I think when they have that group there, that's when they almost become unstoppable, especially with the way they're playing on the offensive side of the ball. And, really, yeah, I think that Bucs D, realistically, and I know I'm not picking the game here, but I guess everybody can be able to tell which way I'm leaning here. I do. I think the Bucs D is going to have to make a play or two for them to win the football game. I don't think it can just go no turnovers, both teams played clean. I think that's definitely the Chiefs win the game.
I think they win 10 out of 10
Right,
there.
that way. It's got to be something that way. And one thing I'll say, too, you just talk about the Chiefs and that D-line and what they got to worry about with the Bucs and their offense tackle. Listen, don't forget this. Mahomes in that snap count. That's another thing I'm going to be watching here early on in this game. He's going to use that snap count to not let them get off and be crazy early on. I would be shocked if that's not part of the repertoire and Andy Reid in his ear kind of reminding him to do that.
Fun question here from at Ken Rafferty. Chris, love the show. Fun question. Swap quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. Brady is now with Kansas City, and Mahomes is with the Bucs. Who wins?
Ooh, that is a great question. That really is. Ooh, Mahomes is just such a game changer to me. I just have a hard time.
I thought you were going to bite and go with Brady.
I know. I mean, I do think about Brady in Kansas City. He certainly can throw the ball down the field, and he'll be able to pick apart with all the short passing game and stuff they have. He'll be phenomenal there.
Yeah.
Where I just worry about it really comes down to one thing. Like I said, the playmaking ability, and it's going to be hard to hide the offensive line deficiencies with Brady at quarterback.
You say playmaking ability like outside
just be able to get out of the
pocket.
pocket, avoid people. All right, the sprint out game's gone. That's not going to be available.
Right.
So you have to play the game a little more of a traditional set with Brady, and the way the Chiefs' O-line is right now, I think that would be the negative there.
What if the spread stays the same, quarterbacks change? I think it's 3.5.
The spread stays the same and the quarterbacks change.
Quarterbacks change,
Yeah, I'm good. I would go with Mahomes. I guess is what I'm telling you is I'm following Mahomes here. Yes,
wow.
I am.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Pete, I thought we had him. I love that you pulled that question out. Okay, at Max, what is Max's last name? Mulcahy? Mulcahey. Okay.
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah,
Mulcahy. We'll go with Max.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm the guy who said Matt the W. So these last names.
We know.
It can be tough on me. If you were playing quarterback, would you take the Chiefs' offensive weapons or the Bucs' offensive weapons?
Man, this is a good one. Like, I watched Cam Jordan last night, the New Orleans Saints defensive end, right? He was on, like, one of the NFL channel Super Bowl shows.
He's everywhere. He's good.
And they asked him that question because he played both teams this year. He took the Bucs.
He'd rather have the Bucs.
He says he thought the Bucs, he thought the running backs put them over the edge, and that the fact that they have two real good tight ends. So it is, man, it's really close. It is really close. I think as a total unit, the Bucs is better.
Yeah.
As a total unit, yes.
Right.
I think their O-line is a better pass protecting O-line, better run game O-line. I think the only, 1 for 1, okay, I'm taking Tyreek Hill over any receiver. Definitely.
Yeah. Would you rather have
But
one
then
Kelce?
I'm going Evans over Kelsey
Yeah.
as my next weapon, I
you
think.
go.
But it's close.
Would you take Kelsey or would you take the combo of Brady and Gronkowski? You can have one of those two things.
I would take Kelsey. I think
You
I
still
would.
take Kelce?
I would. I
Okay.
would. It's a tough, man, that's a tough one, but I would. Kelsey, the way he plays right now, that's too special. It's a really close one. Either way, like, I don't want to hear, this theme's gone. You don't need good receivers to go to the Super Bowl. You don't need good weapons. You don't need to have the best receiver in football to go to the Super Bowl.
Sure helps.
Well, we know you don't need to, just like you don't need to have a top 5 quarterback to get to the Super Bowl either. But it certainly helps. And hey, listen, you could say you want X's and O's, blah, blah, blah. Look at all the fucking Jimmies and the Joes in this game. It's talented football teams. It's players that got them here with the coaching helping out the players, use all their talents.
Thinking of coaching even more, and this is my would you rather. I'm not pulling this one off of our Ask Me Anything. Would you rather have 2 weeks to sit down and get in with the game plan with Byron Leftwich, played quarterback in the league? He's going to be in with you those entire 2 weeks. Doesn't have to run the whole team.
Right.
Or would you rather have Andy Reid as your play caller?
Gosh.
Because Andy's got a lot of shit to do.
He does. He does. He does. He's done a lot of shit to do. He's the head coach.
He's the CEO.
Yes. So, you got to let Eric Bieniemy at times just go, hey, you got to run the meeting here. I can't be involved in this. Man, Hey, these are good questions because I would love to play in either one of these offenses.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
It would be oh my
on,
gosh,
right?
It's just a quarterback's dream. They believe in doing everything through the quarterback, making them look good with cool plays, easy plays, whatever it is. I guess still I'd go with Andy Reid at this point.
So what? Yeah,
he's just a fucking legend, right? That's why, and I'm a huge Byron Leftwich fan.
Right.
I really am. I'm rooting for him and Bruce Arians. That would be really cool to be around.
Yeah.
But I guess I just want to, this play and these fucking calls and everything they got.
It's fun to think about all that.
It is fun, like when you hear some of the names they have and things too.
It's also fun to think about a guy who's got nothing else to do but put the game plan together and just played in the league for 10 years himself.
I know.
And clearly they get along pretty well.
Definitely. And then him and Bruce together and just the freewheeling, good, truthful talk out of those two would be amazing.
And it would be entertaining, right?
Oh my gosh. Leftwich and Bruce.
The entertainment level.
There'll be no secrets,
terrific.
that's for sure.
Pete, you just said something in my ear, which is always a fun thing to say.
Pete, did I miss anything in my notes? Anything?
What am I looking at, Pete?
He sent you a text. He says it's in your text.
You sent me a text. Okay.
But you
need to filibuster right now.
I will
while
filibuster. I wanted to ask Pete if there was anything you thought that I missed, but I think we really hit the most part. But that to me, we talked about the Bucs offense. Their ability to run the ball, I think, is key because it stops the Spags' exotic nature, and of course,
in my Chris Sims school of looking at offensive football, Brady's been under center a lot more because of their running game being more prominent.
There's no doubt, and that's when they're the most dangerous.
Exactly,
because Brady can throw those throws down the field, and then as we said, just to wrap that up, Kansas City on the offensive side of the ball. Hey, I don't know, no 2 tight end sets, none of that crap, no 3 tight end sets. You put your best 11 on the field, you make them shake in the boots with Mahomes in the shotgun and all these weapons and all these plays you got. And to me, that would be the way you go down if you're the Kansas City Chiefs.
So Pete says, digging deeper, Kansas City defense 17th in third down conversions this season. They were 6th on third and long, which is 7 or more.
Yeah,
so that comes into the confusion, and then Spags doing his thing best.
That's exactly it. When he gets you there, and you definitely have to throw.
Yes.
And I don't have to maybe worry about the 3 or 4 yard throw over the middle, and can worry about some of the other, just a hair down the field. He's amazing.
Right.
And that's again where the run game will come into key. And to me, like we've talked about, it's just it's the one weakness Brady has in his game right now. That's the only weakness. It's just when he feels people around him, he can do erratic things.
He might throw it up for grabs.
He might throw it up for grabs. It's his only thing that he does wrong. Everything else is top notch, but yes, it can be erratic as far as the decisions at times when people are around him.
Do you see it being at any point in the fourth quarter a single digit lead for the Chiefs? Like, I'm hoping for a good game in the fourth quarter.
I wouldn't be shocked of that. I wouldn't be. Again, I don't expect the Bucs defense to slow down the Chiefs a whole lot, but I think if the Bucs can run the ball a little like we're saying, and then they stay out of 3rd and 6 and 7 and all of those type of things, then I think they could get into a rhythm here where they could start moving the ball up and down the field too, to where, we're in the fourth quarter, and it's, 30-27 Chiefs to start the fourth quarter or something like that. I don't think that's totally crazy at all.
It'd be fun if it worked out that way.
It would be.
Even if we're watching only with our family.
Only with there's a lot of ways I really like that. In fact, I've done that the last few years because I got to get up in the morning and do the show.
Yeah.
Right. So it is kind of a school night for me.
Yeah.
And I stay up late, but I love just being able to hear the broadcast, do those things, all of that.
Yeah.
My kids will sit there and watch to see if I cry at the start of. I usually cry before the Super Bowl.
Do you really?
Every year. I don't know what it is. Something about the emotions of the game, the moment.
Yeah.
It's either like when the players are running out of the tunnel or the national anthem. Gets me every year.
So you think about like your dad playing in it? Do you think about like, God, what if I was in that moment?
I think it's all of that. I think a little bit is like, I'm happy because I'm like, man, look at this. These guys are getting to live their dream. This is amazing. I go, man, I wish I could be there.
Yeah.
That was my fucking dream.
Yeah.
And then I go, I can remember my dad's, this most special day in the Sims family, all those things kind of come into play. And my kids will keep looking at me.
Like, what's
Look at me. You crying, Dad? Dad, you crying? Dad, you crying?
One of the kids should tape that with their phone.
Yeah.
Send it over to me.
I might get the phone out.
I'm a crier as well. I
You're
probably
crier.
cry usually than you do.
All right,
so
good.
I don't
know.
usually
I'm
cry
a
at the Super
too.
Bowl.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
So
no.
I can't sit here and try to make fun of that because it's a big part of my
I'm
game
emotional. I am in all parts of my life. Anybody that's in my family knows that. That's for sure.
How about a little points bet here?
Let's do it.
All right, the Chris Sims Cannon shot bet provided by PointsBet Sportsbook. What do we have here? Okay, so
special is what we have here.
Any player throw the ball into the cannon down there at the stadium, plus 5,000. And this is a fun one no matter what. But you did this in a playoff game, right?
So
there you are.
Yes.
You ran for a touchdown. How did that happen?
I mean, look at that. Because of that great athleticism right there. Who says white men can't jump? 57 on the Washington football team at that time. Or no, 90.
98 you jumped over.
Oh, wait, I should know this too. I can't think of who 98 is at that time.
57
all
was
in all,
pursuit
all I
of the
know,
big lefty that
I was
couldn't get
scared
him.
as shit. Just leave this picture up for a second. I was scared as shit of 98 right there.
And then,
on that one. Well, there's the throw to the cannon. You know, I'm throwing it to the ship. I wasn't aiming for anything other than I got to launch this thing a long way to get it to the pirate ship. If you watch the telecast, ESPN, ABC telecast, wildcard game, Paul McGuire,
former NBC,
was doing it with with Joe Theismann, and is it Mike Kirkpatrick? Am I got that name right?
No.
The old,
Mike Patrick.
Mike Patrick, Mike Patrick.
Loved his call.
Right, great call.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up with him. Paul McGuire goes, and he threw the ball into the cannon hole. And like, I don't know. I wasn't aiming. Like I said, I always was like, if I score a touchdown, I'm going to throw the ball in the pirate ship. That was my first rushing touchdown in the NFL, and it was a playoff game.
Yeah.
So I did it. He said it. I told Florio and company. They made it this big thing, and I don't fucking believe you. You're full of it. I don't know, but I can tell you the announcer said it, and I had people over the years. I've had at least two come up to me and go, hey, do you know your ball went into the cannon hole when you scored that touchdown?
Where do you see these people, like in an airport?
Well, I lived in Tampa for years after that, so I was there, around town. It's not a big town, so we'll see. We got an email. Mike got an email this morning that someone is saying they believe they have evidence.
Okay.
And that they were going to get back to him later in the day. So we'll see where that goes.
So how far of a throw is that? How far did you throw it?
I'm going to guess you, I bet you that was I didn't have to put full force into that.
Yeah.
But I would bet you that's a 60-yard throw at least.
You threw it 60 yards.
Definitely. In my prime, I could really throw. But again, I was not aiming for anything. I was just looking at the big ship going, I'm throwing it to the ship.
We need that video, Pete. It's got to be out there somewhere.
They're trying. It's like the Zapruder films.
Yeah. Which quarterback is more likely to throw a touchdown celebration ball at the ship? Brady or Mahomes?
I've seen Mahomes throw the ball in the end zone a few times, throwing the ball in the stands.
Yeah.
He did it in one of the playoff games. The Cleveland game, he threw it into the upper tier of Arrowhead Stadium. So I'm going to go with Mahomes to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Brady's going to spike it and go, let's fucking go, and like do that. He's not going to throw the ball up to the pirate ship.
That is awesome. And it was Lamar Marshall that you jumped over.
Lamar Marshall, damn, I know. That's where it's crazy. You know, you're getting old and getting away from the years where you can't. The names don't come to my head.
I know.
I was scared crap of him right there.
That's why you jumped?
Well, so I was running, and he was running with me, and I was going, uh-oh. I mean, we're going to have a collision at the fucking pylon, and I'm going to lose that collision. I'm going to lose the collision, and it's the playoffs. So you know you're going. So I was really like running I'm going, oh no. I was going, what am I going to do? And I couldn't like stop and cut back because as you can see, people are pursuing me. Yeah. But my left guard, number 72, Dan Benning, he's on the ground and his arms are extended because he pushed Marshall. He pushed 98 and just got a piece of him. To where now he couldn't break down. He kind of had to just dive because he was getting pushed. He had nothing else to do. So when I saw him diving, I went, oh, good. Now I can dive and I can avoid him. And I got in and as you can see, barely got touched.
Now I'm trying to figure out who 57 was.
Oh, man.
Who couldn't catch you.
You're killing me. He wasn't in the position. He can catch me. He just wasn't in a position to catch me all the way there.
Okay, so he wasn't running like step for step.
It wasn't step for step. But
say it again, Pete. Warwick Holdman.
Oh, Warwick Holdman, yep.
Yeah.
Damn.
Texas A&M guy. Yeah.
Probably
arch
beat him.
rival.
He beat me there. I beat him in college, though.
Are you ready for quarterback Jeopardy?
Oh, you know it.
Okay, so, I mean, spoiler alert.
It's hard. It's Super Bowl. What? I'm not going to get any right.
It's Brady and Mahomes and these teams based.
Okay.
And it is a difficult one. It is.
I don't know what to think about you guys and your assessment on how difficult.
Pete's concerned and I'm concerned. Yeah. Pete says this is all my fault. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Quarterback Jeopardy Super Bowl
It's related
version.
to Brady and Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
So these are majority Brady Mahomes related.
Gotcha.
Anything in Patrick's world, anything in Brady's world, and then there's one that's just broader based Chiefs.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I like it.
All right, for 100. Tom Brady going for an unprecedented 7th Super Bowl win. This would be his first in Tampa. He has 2 wins in one stadium.
Right. Houston.
Pete was worried about this one.
Come,
I said this is an easy 100.
Houston. They beat Atlanta and beat Carolina.
There you go. See?
Right. In Houston.
You should listen to me more than Pete's angst.
I am. Don't worry.
Okay. 200. Patrick Mahomes threw only 6 picks all season. Half came in one game. Which one?
Oh, wait, hold on.
No rush.
I know.
No rush.
It's either the Raiders or the Dolphins
We
game.
spent a lot of time talking about it right here.
It's that Raiders game. Was it the Dolphins?
This is the Dolphins game.
I got them mixed up. So he threw 3 against the Dolphins.
Did you go off of my look, or did you hear Pete yelling?
No.
He was worried about
No,
that.
no. I heard him go, oh, no.
Yes,
He goes, you
I
were right the
thought you
first time
might.
around.
Yeah.
Damn, it was the Dolphins one. He threw 3 in the Dolphins
3
one.
against the Dolphins.
Yep, he threw both over the middle where he threw it a little high, and then
He threw one
Xavier
against
and
the
Howard
Raiders.
damn.
Yeah.
It was only 1 against the Raiders? Oh, 1 in each Raider game. Shit.
Yeah.
That's the fucking easiest question of the day. I got that wrong.
1 for 2. 300. Chance to get back here. NFC title game in Green Bay. Tom Brady became the Bucs' all-time leader in postseason touchdown passes. Amazing. With 7. Who has thrown the most interceptions in Tampa Bay postseason history?
Ooh, that is a good one.
Yeah.
Man. Okay.
So like the options aren't that many. You can probably pick out.
I'm scared
the
it's
3
me.
candidates.
So that's where
it's
I'm
not you.
Okay.
How many did you throw?
I threw 2 in that game.
Bad ones? Or
No,
like tips?
really. Tips.
Yeah.
Tips at the line of
Tipped at
scrimmage.
the line?
Tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Both of them?
So
those don't really count.
Both of them. I know.
Those
It
don't
was
count.
one of my highest graded games in my career, actually, by my coaching staff. But wait.
It's not Chris Sims.
Okay, so hold on. Career interceptions playoffs. I got to flush this out a little bit.
Yeah.
Doug Williams was there in 79 early that year. They lost in the NFC Championship game to the Rams. 80s, I don't think they went to the playoffs at all. 90s, you have the Trent Dilfer Bucs, who I do believe made it, more than once. And then in the 2000s, you have Brad Johnson, but his only playoff run was the year they won the Super Bowl.
Before you roll out your answer,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Pete if I can give one. I'm going to give one little extra little.
Am I missing a quarterback that I skipped over?
No. I want to throw out one. I want to correct you on one thing.
Yeah.
You said in the 80s you don't think they went to any Super Bowls,
Any
any playoffs, and that's not true.
It's not true.
That's not true.
They got there early 80s.
They didn't have a lot of success.
Right.
But if you went back and looked.
Early 80s, those teams, that 81, 80 team, they kind of went to the playoffs, is what you're saying?
They had some appearances in the 80s.
Okay. All right. I guess I'm going to go with Doug Williams then.
He threw 9.
Okay.
He's the winner.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks. That helped me out. I'm not going to lie.
They got their asses kicked in the playoffs in the 80s. Badly.
So was it like 81, 82, 83 that year? Is it because
81 and 82, they
Gotcha.
played against Dallas, and the cumulative score, one was 38-0.
Woo.
30-17.
Damn.
Yeah. So.
Okay. All right. That's good. Thanks for the help.
That's fair. No, that's fair. Because this 400 it's the hardest 400 ever.
Sure.
Okay. It's the 2 seasons we've been doing this. This is the one. All right. Since losing to Tom Brady in the AFC title game 2 years ago, Patrick Mahomes has won 5 playoff games in a row. Surprisingly, though, he's only thrown for over 300 in 2 of them. Which 2?
Ooh. So 5 playoff games in a row.
Yep.
Only 300 in 2 of them. Yeah. All right. This is a good one. This is a very good one.
I have one small hint. It's not as big as the other one. I give you a small one. One of the 2 is fairly obvious.
Well, Houston, in the comeback last year, there's got to be one of them, right? Right.
So yes.
Right.
They
were down 24-0
Yep,
last year. They come back. So that's that one there.
Yep.
All right. Wow. I know he didn't do it in the Browns game. And you know what's funny is as I sit here in the Bills game, I'm going, wait, what did he throw for in that game?
So
but I don't think he threw for 300.
There were five games. You already picked one. You eliminated the Cleveland game. Right. So you're talking about 3 other games.
Right. 3 other games, which
so
is
what are they?
I'm going to have to go with the Tennessee Titans from last year.
It was the Buffalo game and the title game.
Oh my gosh. What did he end up with in the Buffalo game?
Both of these were like 320.
Damn it.
Yeah. I thought you'd get that one, but not the other one.
It's all right.
Okay.
It's a good one. I can deal with those kind of losses like that, though. I can deal with that.
Right?
I can.
Yeah.
I can stomach that one.
Good, tough out.
I was a good, tough out. I was in the right ballpark. Okay.
You worked it to a full count.
I can't know everything in the history of mankind.
Right.
You know.
Good pitch, low and outside. Okay, 500.
Damn.
The Chiefs lost in Super Bowl I to Green Bay.
Right.
From the halftime locker room, with Kansas City trailing only 14-10, we have the iconic picture of Hall of Fame quarterback Len Dawson doing what?
Smoking a cig.
There you
Smoking
are.
them if you got them, baby.
Look at that. All-timer.
Baby.
It's halftime. We're only down 4. Hold on, Coach.
Look at that.
I got to fire up
He's
the
like,
heater
hold on, Coach.
and have a Fresca. Look at that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Hold on, Coach. Did you see Ray Nitschke out there? Hold on, I got to take a fucking puff of this shit here.
Is there anything from our era where, like, our kids are going to look back and say, man, look at the halftime then? Like, they drink Gatorade. Like, what would be as cool to bring up and say, look at how much things have changed? Is there anything at all?
No, there really isn't.
I can't think of anything.
You know, listen, I won't lie. I played
phones with cords. Is that what you said, Pete?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like maybe our era, 30 years from now, they're going to be looking back and be like, they used to do Instagram videos in the locker room? Well, I mean, maybe that's what it'll be.
Yeah.
They do TikTok dances in the locker. They allow that? I don't know where it's going to be.
Yeah.
Only thing I can say to even speak to similar to that, or anything that even be along those lines. I did have some teammates who smoked weed before football games. I'm just going to say it.
In the locker room, like in the car?
No, he couldn't do it in the locker room or in the stadium or in the building. Yeah. Hey, Coach Crew, hold on over here. I'm smoking a blunt. But
in the car.
In the car on the way to the game. Right, definitely.
Yeah.
Almost every team I was ever on in the pros, there was at least one guy that was kind of like that. Right.
Can you picture playing that way?
I cannot. I am a guy that's like, you know, as I like to do that. I like to smoke weed.
Yeah.
But I am a total like, wait, the day is over. It's Friday night. I have nothing to worry about.
Right.
Now let me do it.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine trying to function.
Play an NFL game.
But I can tell you, some of my teammates that did do it, I'm telling you, they function better with it.
So are these lineman types or more like?
Almost always on defense. Always.
Right.
Everyone actually defense.
All defensive guys.
Right.
So, linemen, linebackers, or DBs?
Yeah,
most likely.
Little less thinking on that side,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just about aggressive and frame of mind. And I can't make any names. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus.
No.
Really, honestly, there's probably 2 or 3 that would go, I don't give a shit, Chris. Tell.
You say it right.
And I'll text them. Because I brought it up to one of them before, and they're like, "Oh, I don't care. Go ahead."
I can think of one of them.
So there's you know, but that is the only thing I can think of even somewhat comparable to that.
Did you ever have anybody smoking cigarettes in the locker room?
No, not at
So
all.
old school.
I don't even remember anybody who like smoked cigarettes at all in general.
I know.
mean, like nothing. Not even like, oh, we're having a beer and smoking a cigarette. That just didn't go down in this day and age.
Every now and then I'll be somewhere and see somebody smoking a cigarette. I'm like, man, people still smoke. Right. I forgot. When I'm over hosting the tour in France.
Oh, then you're like.
At lunch, wine and cigarettes. All the time.
Right.
Not me.
Yeah, but them. Yes.
Yeah. See it everywhere. Crazy.
I know. Yeah, Europe, they don't give a damn. It doesn't seem like.
Yeah.
Even some of the Europe.
Memo didn't get over that.
The people we have here in this area, because we're close to New York, I know a few people from Europe, and yes.
Yeah.
They smoke cigarettes. They don't even think twice. It's like spinach to them. They're just like, who cares? Let's smoke it.
Right. My mom used to smoke cigarettes. My sister and I used to find them, break them in half, and like finally got her to quit. But I mean, it was so 1970s.
Yeah,
like,
right.
That's not the kind of thing you see anymore.
They didn't know that generation, but we know now.
Yeah.
We know now. Good show.
Way to go.
Good shit. Anything else we want to hit? Anything else? We missing anything, Pete? We got it all?
I want to point out to the kids who were thinking about that Len Dawson They got shut out in the second half.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what happens.
Those cigarettes didn't help. Yep. Don't smoke cigarettes. Drink protein shakes at halftime is the lesson right there.
Yeah.
Bart Starr was drinking a protein shake in the other locker room. That's what they want.
I want you to cry before the game.
I probably will.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to get
Please
video
do it.
of it. Now, you might get some video if things go bad for Kansas City for a little.
Yeah.
I am going to videotape my son because he'll have an
Oh,
emotional
the Mahomes,
breakdown.
yeah. Okay.
He'll have an emotional breakdown.
That's
if it
always
gets
fun
bad.
to see.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to tape him and I'll put it on social media.
Send it to me.
Everybody enjoy the game. Super Bowl 55. How could you not be excited? It's going to be amazing. Brady, Mahomes, the Bucs, the Chiefs. You know, really enjoy it. Be safe out there. Don't have too big a Super Bowl parties and do something stupid. And then ask me anything you want about these games. We're going to try to hit it all on Monday. And, of course, you know I'll do my best to watch film of the game next week and all that.
I'm back Monday.
So,
See you soon.
See you Monday.
All right.
Paulie Burmeister,
Have a
Chris
good weekend.
Sims. We're out. Peace. Enjoy the Super Bowl.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.